Juventus' woeful form continued this past weekend as a loss to Benevento to put their Champions League future in doubt. We'll take a look at that and much more next. That's right, folks, back on the Operation Show today, but particular match day number 29 out in Serie A. We'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're doing, smash your subscribe, get your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Serie A related, here, under Warowski. That's right, boys and girls. Of course, yes, Juventus fails again. Goodness gracious me. And of course, AC Milan, though, keeping the heat, and of course, Inter Milan, whose game was postponed. We'll take a look at all of that. And of course, in a second, of course, a big shout out to the VIP Banda Brothers. We're talking about the bloody patrons, that's right. As of course, they continue to support the channel behind the scenes. I do appreciate that, guys. I really do. Thank you for your continued support. And if anyone else is out there that wants to join the band of men and women, check out the link on the screen right about now, patreon.com/Roverseas. So let's get into it, of course, and take a look at how they all got on and how I got on with my latest round of picks, of course, kicking it all off, excuse me, with, of course, Parma against Genoa, 2-1 win for Genoa. Gianluca Sacamama with a couple of goals there for Genoa. Gonzalo Pele getting the goal scoring sheet for, of course, Parma, as they lost, though. 2-1 win in the end for Genoa, big win for them. Of course, Parma in a bit of trouble. Next up, of course, Crotone against Bologna. It was a 3-2 win for Bologna as they moved the chains on that badger with, of course, with the goals going their way. Adrian Salmario, Jody Sulchin, and Andrzej Skov Olsen get the goals for Bologna. Meanwhile, Junior Messias on the score sheet, of course. Simi also on the score sheet, of course, for Crotone, but unfortunately not good enough. Spezia, though, another win for them. It looks like they're going to stay sticking around in the division with a 2-1 win over Cagliari. Big win for them. Roberto Piccoli on the score sheet with Giulio Maggiore on the score sheet as well, with Gaston Piero getting the goal for Cagliari, but again, not good enough. Actually went with the 1-1 draw in the end. Meanwhile, Inter Milan against Sassuolo was postponed. Of course, we'll do that again another time. Meanwhile, Hellas Verona against Atalanta, though, was a... what was that one? Where are we on that one? Hellas Verona. 2-0 win for Atalanta. Big win for them. Ruslan Melegovsky on the score sheet with Duvan Zapata getting the goals for Atalanta with a big win for them. Actually, with a 2-1 win myself, not too shabby. But here it is. Here is the telling fact. Of course, Juventus losing to Benevento. Adolfo Gates on the score sheet, of course, giving Benevento the win. Actually, went with a 2-0 win for Juventus in the end. Now, let's talk about this for a second. Juventus made a big announcement saying, "Oh, we're keeping Ronaldo next season. We're keeping Ronaldo next season." Well, guess what, Juventus? If you don't make Champions League, you're not keeping Ronaldo next season. He will leave. He will leave. He ain't going to be sticking around to play in the Europa League. He is not. He is a pinnacle player. He needs to be playing at the pinnacle top. So you may say you're keeping him, but guess what? I think he has a bit of a deciding factor on that. So you just don't know. And I think if they fail to get Champions, I'm not saying they will fail to get Champions League, but if they fail to get Champions League, guess what? He's going to be. He's a winner. He wants to win shit. He doesn't muck about. He doesn't muck about for the Europa League. He doesn't muck about for fourth place. He doesn't muck about for that. You're not going to win the title. It doesn't look like that. But the top four is where it's all at. And for you guys, you're still in there for the time being, but of course it ain't over. You got Napoli, Roma, Lazio breathing down your neck. So do something in the end. Anyway, they lost. Shocker. Udinese against Lazio was a 1-0 win for Lazio. Big win for them again, keeping up the heat to the Europa League spots, of course. Adam Musalic on the score sheet, of course, for Lazio, giving them the W. Of course, Sampdoria, my boys, keeping up on top with the 1-0 win over Torino. Big win for the Sampos. I don't know if that's a nickname or not. Antonio Candavera get the goal scoring sheet for Sampdoria with a 1-0 win. 2-1 for me. Not too shabby. Fiorentina, they made a 3-2 win for AC Milan. Zlatan, Brahim Diaz, and Hakan Calhanoglu on the score sheet, of course, for Milan. Eric Pulgar on the score sheet with Frank Ribery on the goal score sheet as well for Fiorentina. But they lost 3-1 for me, though. And of course, Roma lost to Napoli 2-0 in the end, as Napoli keep up the dream for Champions League. Dries Mertens with a couple of goals as well. And as you can see, I did pretty well for myself. Got myself 6 out of 9, I think. Not too shabby. Of course, the table looks like this. As you see, of course, Inter Milan 6 points clear still over AC Milan. It's their title to lose right now. Of course, AC Milan still in good shape, though, for second spot. Atalanta third, and Juventus are in fourth, of course, breathing down next, though, is Napoli and Roma as well. Down the foot table, Crotone, Parma and Cagliari going down as if the season was to end today. Of course, take a look at your picks, shall we? Of course, not 3 shitface gang, 4 to 6 straight face club, and 8+. You're in the top bins, lads. You're in the top bins. Janik Saifi did good. Of course, Yanni Posta also did very well. Of course, Georgie Gassif not too shabby. Of course, Cameron Tran not too bad as well. Alex Weather did bits. Escoville also did very well for himself. Well done to you. Of course, I did okay. Shite, you did actually did very shy. Vincent Long did poop. Alaji also did very well. Of course, Costa okay. He's okay. Imagine Monday did bits. Of course, Shane O'Donnell not too shabby. Of course, in the corner there. Jace Bruce, great. You did poop. Of course, Leo Alieri also did okay. I'm stringing not too shabby. Of course, AJ24 did poop. D-Bag the Great also did great. Of course, Matt Gunner not too shabby. Gaming Charlie did bits. Did I just say Gaming Charlie, or am I repeating myself? No, it's in my head. Gaming Charlie also did very well. Of course, Hans Buzz did bits. Of course, Ultra Omen Mira Fabius, of course. Russell Frost also did very well. This guy down here did, of course, very, very shite. Tom Stay did very well. Of course, the D-Man also did very, very well indeed. Let's take a look at whoa. So let's take a look at the leaderboard. AJ24, you did a shocker. Absolute shocker. Don't even look at it. Of course, your name is Shane O'Donnell, though, or I'm a Stringer. Take a bloody bow. You're like me, the kingpin for this week. That's right. We are the kings. Bow down to your king right here. That's right. 6 out of 9. Irish Stringer, Shane O'Donnell, not too shabby. But what's that done to the overall leaderboard? We'll take a little look at it. Take a bloody look at it. Here we go. Well, Imagine Monday still kicks ass and takes some names. Alex Weller, your biggest winner, it looks like. Of course, 1 point closer to the top. Costas K also moving the chains a little bit, I think. Where are you? Yep, indeed. So it's still very, very tight to the top. This one is up for grabs. I'd say you're probably looking at these top 5 here, potentially for the title. But of course, it can still be open. You just might fall off. You might just go away for a week or month. And leave the door open for the likes of Nathan Eva coming out of nowhere and, of course, taking the title. You just don't know. But let's take a look at the next round of matches, which will take place on, of course, Easter weekend. It'll be Milan against Sampdoria kicking us all off on the 4th of April. Early kickoff there. Of course, all eyes on this one. Last 6 between the two sides. 4 wins for AC Milan, 1 for Sampdoria, and 1 draw last round in Milan. Was, of course, 0-0 draw back in, of course, January 2020. They also pictured this season in Sampdoria. Back in, of course, December was a 2-1 win for Milan. Frank Kessie and Samu Castello on the score sheet, of course. Aberdeen Erkdal getting on the score sheet, of course, for Sampdoria. Heading into this, though, Sampdoria just 1 defeat the past 4 games. That was against Bologna. Meanwhile, just 1 win, though, the past 4 games for AC Milan. That was against, of course, Fiorentina. Heading into this, for me, the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this one? We have, of course, AC Milan 2-1 on for the victory, 10-3 is your draw, 5-1 is your long shots. That's, of course, Sampdoria. Sampdoria currently find themselves in 10th, and if they make a move up to 9th. That's AC Milan. Then a second, and they can close it in on, of course, just 3 points if they get the win. And, of course, everything else goes their way. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win, though, for AC Milan. 3 points in the bag, move the chains. Next up, of course, we have Napoli taking on, of course, Crotone. Played each other, of course, last 6. 5 wins to Napoli, 1 for Crotone. No draws last time around in Napoli. It was 2-1 for Napoli back in May 2018. Goal scorers on the day with, of course, Andris Milic on the score sheet, of course, Jose Caljar on as well. Marco Termino on the score sheet, of course, Crotone. Crotone, though, losing the last 8 away matches, of course, heading into this. Also conceded at least 2 goals in the last 10. Heading into this, though, of course, just 1 win the past 6 games for Crotone. That was against Torino, 4-2 win back in, of course, the start or early March. As for Napoli, 5 wins. The past 6 games, the only hiccup was a draw against Sassuolo. A 6-goal thriller that was. At the start of March. Meanwhile, bookies odds on this one we have. What do we have on this one? We have a 92-1 for Napoli. Of course, 11-2 is your draw. 11-1 is your Crotone. Crotone actually down in, of course, the root of the foot of the table, but a win for them to close it in on 19th. Napoli are 5th. A win for them, they can move up to bloody 3rd with the W. They'll get the win as well. 3-1 win comfortably in the end. Next, of course, Genoa up against Fiorentina. Played each other the last 6. 1 win apiece, 4 draws last round in Genoa. As a 2-1 win for Genoa. That was back in, of course, September 2019. Christian Zapata on the score sheet, of course, and Christian Kumar on the score sheet as well. Eric Pulga getting the goal for Fiorentina, but they lost. They also played each other this season, of course, in Fiorentina. It was a 1-1 draw back in, of course, December. Genoa, though, drawing the last 3 home matches. Fiorentina, though, scoring at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches as well. Coming into this, just 1 win the past 5 games for Fiorentina was against Benevento, 4-1 win. As for Genoa, also 1 win the past 6 games for them. That was against, of course, Parma just the other day. Look at the bookies odds. Genoa coming into this. 12-5 for the victory. Of course, 2-1 is your draw. 11-8 is your Fiorentina. Fiorentina are in 14th. A win for them, they can move up to 13th. Sitting into 13th is Genoa, and a win for them, they can move up to bloody 11th in the end. Genoa will get this one with a 2-1 win at home. 3 points in the bag. Next up, of course, Benevento taking, of course, Parma. Played each other just the one time in recent times. That was, of course, early in the season was a 0-0 draw in Parma. Also heading into this, though, just 1 defeat the past, actually 1 win the past 6 games for Parma. That was against Roma. 2-0 in the end for Parma back in, of course, middle of the month of March. Meanwhile, Benevento Benevento just one win in the past 6 games. A big one it was against Juventus in Turin. Heading into this, Benevento have actually failed to win their last 7 home matches heading into this, and Parma have actually conceded 2 goals in the 9 last 10 matches heading into this. Of course, heading into this though, the bookies odds, Benevento 31-20 for the Richie, 23-10 draw, 7-4 is your long shots. That's Parma. Parma are actually in the relegation zone in 19th, but whenever they make a move up to 18th to Cagliari spot. As for 16th Benevento, they're there. Win for them, they can move up to 13th. That is Genoa in the end. 2-0 for Parma on the road. Parma move the chains. Benevento still in trouble. Next up, of course, Sassuolo taking on, of course, Roma. Played for the last 6. 1 for Sassuolo, 3 for Roma. 2 draws last round in Sassuolo. It was a 6-goal Bobby Dazzler going in favour of Sassuolo. 4-2 in the end. Francesco Caputo with a couple of goals there. Philip Ducic and Jeremy Boga on the score sheet, of course, Sassuolo. Zecco for 2 on the score sheet, of course, Roma. Lorenzo Pellegrini got himself sent off. Heading into this, though, they also played each other in Roma back, of course, December, was a 0-0 draw. Roma coming to this winning 4 of the games in the past 6, losing to Parma and losing to Napoli, not in quick succession, though. As for Sassuolo, just 1 win in the past 5. That was against Verona, 3-2 win. A couple games back. Meanwhile, the bookies odds on this one, we have Sassuolo coming at you, 9-4 for the victory, 21-20 is your Roma, 11-4 is the draw. Sassuolo in 8th, the win for them, they can close it in on 7th. As for Roma, they're in 6th, the win for them, they can move up to 5th in the end. I've gone with Sassuolo on this one at home to really put a bit of a dent in Roma's Europa ambitions this season. Next, of course, the other side of Roma, it will be Lazio taking, of course, Spezia. Played to the last 2 wins out of 2 for Lazio. Played to the last round this season was a 2-1 for Lazio back in Spezia. Of course, heading into this, 2 wins in the past 5 games for Lazio. Have them scrambling though, beating Lazio Crotone and of course Udinese in Serie A, losing to the likes of Bayern and Juventus also in quick succession. Of course, just 1 win though, the past 6 games, especially those against Cagliari last time around. Meanwhile, bookies odds on this one, we have Lazio coming at you, 5-2 for the victory, 15-4 is draw, 6-1 is just Spezia. Spezia are actually in 15th, but for them they can close it in on 13th. They could go 13th. As for Lazio in 7th, they could go as high as 6th with a win, and they'll get the win with a 2-0 win over Spezia in the end. 3 points in the bag. Next, of course, Atalanta taking, of course, Udinese. Played the last 6, 5 for Atalanta, nothing for Udinese, 1 draw. Last round in Atalanta was a 7-1 win for Atalanta back in, of course, October 2019. Josip Ilic with a couple of goals, Luis Muriel with a couple of goals, Mario Pasalic as well, and Ahmad on the score sheet as well, with Stefano Ekaka on the score sheet, of course, Udinese. Nicholas Opoku got himself sent off. Heading into this, what do we have? Actually, Udinese just 1 defeat in the past 6. That 1 defeat was against Lazio just the other day. As for Atalanta, 2 defeats in the past 6 games, losing to Inter and losing to Real Madrid in the Champions League, though. Winning 4 out of the past 5 games in, of course, Serie A. Look at the bookies. Odds on this one, we have Atalanta coming at you, of course, 29 on for the victory, 23 is draw, 61 is your Udinese. Udinese currently sitting 12th, and for them, they can move up to 10th. As for Atalanta, they are 3rd, and for them, they can close in on 2nd. Going to go with Atalanta on this one. Big one, 3-0 win in the end move. The chains. Next up, of course, Cagliari taking, of course, Verona. Played for the last 6, 2 wins apiece and 2 bloody draws last round in Cagliari. It was a 2-1 win for Cagliari, and that was in the Coppa Italia this season it was. Last time, played though in the league in Cagliari was a 1-1 draw back in, of course, September 2019. Lucas Castro on the score sheet with Marco Faroni on the score sheet, of course, as a draw. Points were split right down the middle. Also played this season, also in Verona, it was a draw as well. So Cagliari, they're failing to win 19 last 21 matches in Serie A, and Verona losing the last 3 as well. Coming into this, just 1 win in the past 6 games for Verona. That 1 was against Benevento. Meanwhile, 1 win in the past 4 games for Cagliari. That was against Bologna, all the way back at the start of March. Look at the bookies odds on this one. We have Cagliari coming at you, 30-8 for the victory, 9-4 is draw, 70-10 is your Verona. Cagliari all the way down into 18th, but with them they can move up to 17th, whereas of course Verona are actually in 9th, and with them they can move up to 8th. 1-1 draw, and this 1 point split right in the middle, another draw, as these 2 sides cannot be separated. Next, of course, we have Torino up against Juventus. A must win for of course, Juventus, if not just to keep themselves in the Champions League, but to keep hold of Ronaldo. That's right, played to the last 6, nothing for Torino, 5 for Juventus, and 1 draw. Last round in Torino was a 1-0 win for Juventus, of course, back in November 2019. Matthias de Ligt on score sheet for, of course, Juventus, as they took 3 points. Also played this season, of course, Turin, it was 2-1 win for Juventus back in, of course, December. Of course, just 1 win though, past 4 games for Turin, and that was against Sassuolo. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat though, the past 6 games for Juventus. That was, of course, against Benevento. Look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this one? Torino 6-1 for the victory, now 20-9 on is your Juventus. Of course, 10-3 is your draw. A win for, of course, Torino in 17th. They could close it in on 16th. As for Juventus, a win for them in 4th. They could should go third in the table. They'll get the win with a 3-1 win over Torino and take 3 points in the end. And then wrap it up, it will be Bologna up against Inter Milan. Of course, Bologna winning 2 of the past 6 between 2 sets. Of course, 4 wins for Inter Milan. As of course, the last round though in Bologna was a 2-1 win for Inter Milan. Of course, back in November 2019. Goal scorers on the day with Romelu Lukaku with a couple of goals there, Roberto Soriano as well. Also, pictures of this season in Milan back in, of course, December. It was a 3-1 win for Inter. Inter though winning 8 of the last 8 matches in Serie A. Scoring at least 2 goals in 7 of those last 8. As for Bologna, back-to-back wins for them, beating Sampdoria and also beating Crotone, have them moving in the right direction. The bookies, the odds, 6-1 for Bologna, 5-2 on is your Inter Milan, 50-4 is your draw. Bologna in 11th, and win for them, they can close it in, they can actually go to 10th. As for Inter Milan, they'll be top no matter what. Going to go with a 2-0 win on this one. I don't know what they're doing up there, but of course 2-0 win for Inter Milan has them keep on moving on, of course. And that's what I think will happen in match day number 29 out in Serie A. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like at the end of it. Inter Milan will still have a 6 points clearance over AC Milan, who have a 4 points clearance over Atalanta in third. There's Juventus into fourth. Of course, Napoli and Lazio not too far away either. Cagliari, Parma and Crotone going down as it stands. Of course, it's still got a bit of time left on the season, so still a lot could go on, especially down here and of course right about here. But of course, that's my picks. Be sure to get your picks in nice early for this one, and we'll do it all again very, very soon. Until then, though, be sure to check out the videos down below, the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. And again, if you want to support the channel in another way, you could become the latest member of the Patreon gang. Check out the links down below, patreon.com/Roverseas. Also, make sure you bang the subscribe, bang the thumbs up, and hit the little bell so you don't miss a beat. And hopefully, we'll be back very, very soon. Until then, though, be sure to be safe out there, mask up, 6 feet, and all that kind of stuff. And see you all next time for some more Serie A action.